Hi, and welcome to the today's webinar for the online Masters in Cybersecurity with the University of London. As it's only just past 5 o'clock in the UK, we'll give it a few minutes more just to make sure that everyone is available and online. So just give it a minute more and we'll see how many attendees we have. So in the webinar today, there will be a Q&A at the end. And actually, there'll be a Q&A midpoint with myself just to answer any questions that you may have about the early part of the webinar. I won't be answering everything within that because a lot of it will probably be covered in the second half of the webinar. And then at the end of the webinar, we will have a live Q&A with the program director from the University of London, Dr. Fauzia Idrees. So please do hold on for that, as that will be a great webinar with lots of information. The numbers look like they're stabilizing, so let's move on. So just to let you know, my name's Matthew, and I am one of the enrollment counselors for Coursera, and I'm here today to talk to you about the online Masters in Cybersecurity with the University of London. So the first thing we'll do is there'll be a short video about cybersecurity. Brilliant. I think that video was quite informative about what cybersecurity has to offer and a lot of reasons of why to select cybersecurity. So what we'll be running through today is, first of all, the program overview, then the application process, some of the key dates, and then, as I said, at the end, we'll have a live Q&A. There is a Q&A box within Zoom, so if you do have any questions, then please do put them into the Q&A box, and we will answer them within this webinar. Although, that being said, The Q&A is for sort of general questions about either the course or about the application or registration process. We won't be answering very specific questions on particular regions or people. So sometimes we'll get people ask questions like, I've got this qualification, would this get me onto the course? Or people say, what about funding in this specific country? Or sort of, I want to do this in the future with this and that. Please don't ask questions like that. We won't be answering any of those questions. At the end, there'll be a QR code to book in time with an enrollment counselor. Anything that's really specific to either yourself or your region or anything like that, please do book in some time with your enrollment counselor, and we'll be able to answer those questions one-on-one, and we won't be answering those questions in the webinar. So the program overview. So the course is a practically brand new course. It was launched last year in October. So this will be the third intake onto the course. We haven't yet had a graduating class for the course because it's so new. The course comprises of 10 core modules and 1 project module. Each of the core modules are 15 credits, and then the project module is 30 credits, and the course is 100% online. This makes the course self-paced and flexible, and as long as you commit 12 to 15 hours of study a week, then this course is suitable for yourself. So what you'll be learning in the course. In this course, as I say, there are 10 core modules. There are cybersecurity foundations, security management of governments, cybercrime, applied cryptography, network and infrastructure for security, computer system security, software and application security, security and behavioral change, information privacy, then the research method for cybersecurity, which leads into the project. Each of these modules is 15 credits, and you can do a maximum of 2 modules at a time. So in Cybersecurity Foundation, in that module, you'll receive an introduction to the broad range of concepts, challenges, and technologies that form the foundation of cybersecurity. You'll gain an understanding of what cybersecurity is and why it's important, and you'll be able to explore the techniques and technologies that are used to achieve cybersecurity. In cybersecurity governance, you'll build your understandings and appreciation of the need for effective cybersecurity management. You'll study different approaches to the management in practice, including security standards and the fundamental importance of risk-based approach. After completing this module, you'll be able to understand key components of practical cybersecurity management. You'll study cybercrime. In that module, you'll be able to build and maintain an appreciation for the need for effective cybersecurity. You'll be able to study different approaches to management in practice, including security standards and the fundamental importance of risk-based approach. In applied cryptography, in this module, you explore the role of cryptography in supporting security for everyday applications, such as the internet, mobile phones, wireless networks, and cryptocurrency. You'll develop an understanding for the fundamentals and purposes of the main cryptographic tools that we use today. In network infrastructure security, in this module, you'll look at the foundations of cybersecurity so you can develop your understanding of the technologies that are used in computer networks and infrastructure. These include operational technologies and critical national infrastructure, protocols and computer networks, data centers, and operational technologies. You'll move on to computer system securities, and in this module, you explore security mechanisms in modern computer systems. You look at the core concepts, security policies, security models, subjects and objects, authorization, and access rights. You'll also study software and application security, where you'll get to introduce yourself to the principles around software and applications, including security and the issues of malicious software. You'll study the techniques used for security software development in the principles of secure programming. Then you move on to security and behavioral change, where you will look at heavily dependent aspects which are dependent on humans and their actions. These actions can either strengthen or diminish security levels. In this module, you'll explore the relationships between security and human behavior in multiple of settings. Then you'll study, for the 10th module, information privacy. In this module, you'll learn about the challenges facing organizations in managing data privacy. You'll gain and understand the meaning of data privacy and examine the serious legal constraints facing all organizations which make data privacy a key issue for cybersecurity and risk management. And finally, you'll move on to the project, which will start with research methods for cybersecurity, where you'll build skills and knowledge that you'll need to undertake the dissertation project. And then within the project, you'll have the opportunity to produce a major individual piece of work which demonstrates your understanding of a chosen specific area of cybersecurity. And those modules make up the MSc. So some of you will have probably been on the Coursera platform before, and this video here will show a little bit of how the platform runs. So on the top left, you'll have the University of London Coursera logos, which will take you through. And as it happens with all Coursera programs, it will be broken into weekly installments. So you'll be able to go through, see the time requirements, what assignments you have, and how much time it will take for that week. You'll also be able to look at the grades. There'll be discussion forums and messages, and all of it breaks down between what reading you'll need to do, what videos you need to watch, and any live sessions. It's weekly based, although in week 1 you do get all 10 weeks of learning material, so you can go through it at your own pace. It is self-paced, so there is the opportunity to get ahead on the workload, but there is also the chance that you can fall behind. So you do have to pace your own workload. There are video lectures, practice and grade assignments, discussion forums, and tutorials with professors. These tutorials are recorded though, so if you aren't able to attend them live, you can always watch them back at a later date. And once again, you can choose each week as you go through it and manage your own workload. So for this course, there are 2 admissions routes. There's a direct entry route and the performance-based route. The direct entry route, we were looking for any students have a UK first class or second class upper or lower degree, which would be a GPA of 2.6 or above. But if you don't meet these requirements and you still have a UK third class degree and professional experience and qualifications, then you can join via the performance-based pathway. The difference between the two is you'll be joining the same cohort with the same tutors and the same classes, but you need to complete 2 modules before you can move on first time, on to the full-time masters. This also means that when you start the direct entry routes, you do have the option to take 2 modules at once, whereas on the performance-based pathway, until you join the masters full-time, you are only able to take 1 module at a time until you are taken on full-time onto the course. As well as the requirements of either a first, second, or third class degree and experience, you will also need to meet the English language proficiency for this course. There are lots of ways to do that. You could take the IELTS, the Pearson tests, Cambridge language certificates, the TOEFL or Duolingo. All of those scores can be seen on this slide. But as well as that, please do go onto the website, and there's more information on the website about the English language proficiency and how it's met. So the program structure. As I said, the course can be studied anywhere between 2 and 5 years and is self-paced, online and flexible. Now, to complete the course in 2 years, you can take 2 modules at a time, but it is a maximum of 2 years, and 2 years is the minimum. Sorry, a maximum of 2 modules, and 2 years is the minimum you can take the course in. There is no option to do more than 2 modules at a time and complete in less than 2 years. And this means that you can study the course over a minimum of 2 years if you do up to 30 hours of study a week. Although if you only want to do 1 module at a time, which would be 15 hours of study, then you would have the option just to do 1 module. And then that would take about 3 to 3.5 years to complete the course. Or if you were wishing to take some study breaks between, then we do give you up to 5 years to complete, meaning there's lots of flexibility within this course. There are also different exit points in this course. So although we do hope you will continue to complete the full masters consisting of 10 core modules and 1 project, which is 180 credits, you would also have the option after 1 core module and 3 modules of 60 credits to drop out with a PG certificate. Or if you do 120 credits, which would be 7 modules and 1 core module, you get the postgrad diploma. So even if you don't complete the whole course, you still do have the option to leave with qualifications. As I said, each module is worth 15 credits with a final project worth 30. And the total masters is 180. Now, you also have tutor support. We host webinars or live sessions every 2 weeks, and these are live recorded, and you'll have access to the tutors within these live sessions. Now, the total cost of the program is split between Band A and Band B countries. So the scale of the payment is not somewhere between 9,445 and 12,600. It's not a sliding scale, it's one or the other. If you're from a Band A country, you'll pay 9,445. And if you're from a Band B country, it's 12,600. And this is based upon geographical location. So Band A pay one, Band B pay the other. The course can be paid as you go. and it's paid directly to the University of London via the student portal online. Also, you can get sponsorship from your employers. So if you do have a scholarship from external company or from your company or anyone else funding the course, then you will need to fill out a sponsorship form as well. Alternatively, you can pay via the student portal. And the registration and payment deadline is the 25th of September. This is a hard deadline, so please do make sure that you pay by this deadline. The other thing to know is that if you are applying for student finance in the UK, the loan does not come out to you before the course. So the first module payment does need to be made in advance of starting, and then student finance won't release that money until the course has started. So you will need to make the payment by the 25th of September, but you probably won't get the loan from student finance until mid-October. So you can't rely on the loan to pay the course because you won't get that money in time to meet the payment deadline. So the countries and regions in Band A. So if you are from one of these countries, you will be Band A, which means that you'll be paying 9,445, which is a payment of £757 per module. Or if you're Band B, then you'll be paying £1,050 per module, making the payments a total of £12,600. So once again, these are the Band A countries, so please do have a look for the lower payment, or if you're a Band B country, that's one of these payments. So who would you take onto this course? For this course, the ideal students would be people who are looking to move into roles within business information and security officers, security consultants, security specialists, but mainly we're just looking for people who are looking to learn practical applied skills and skills in the cybersecurity field, and skills that are looking to meet the latest industry demands and standards. So I can see a few questions within the Q&A. If they're relevant to what we've previously spoken about, then I will answer them, but a lot of the questions are probably going to be covered within the second half of the webinar, so I will leave those questions. So the first question I've been asked, once again, it's a very specific question. So someone's asked about whether qualification will make them eligible for this course. Any questions like that, please book in some time with your enrollment counsellor, and we'll be able to answer those one-on-one after, rather than in a group setting. Do we have a waiver for English language requirements? We look at English language on a case by case. The best way to make sure that you do meet that is to have one of those English language certificates. But if you have studied within the UK or are sort of a UK citizen and you've done your education in English, then UK students don't need to do a specific English language requirements. A lot of American students who have studied within English wouldn't have to either. There are other countries as well. If you've done your education within English, it can be waived, but we do look at that on a student by student basis. So please do speak to your enrollment counsellor about how to get that waived and what requirements are needing to be met. At 10 modules and 2 courses at a time, how is it possible to actually complete in 2 years? So to complete in 2 years, you would need to be constantly studying 2 modules. So each module, as I said, is 12 to 15 hours of study. And you would need to be doing 2 modules at a time, which would be 24 to 30 hours of study for two years. So it would be about 1 year and 3 months of taught modules, and then 9 months for the dissertation. So it is a very large undertaking to complete in 2 years, and you would need to make sure that you have the ability to study somewhere in the region of 30 hours a week, which on top of a full-time job can be a very large undertaking. So we are aware that a lot of students want to complete in 2 years, but this is a full master's qualification. Most people doing this do it as a full-time sort of vocation whilst on campus. So you have to meet the same level of qualification to gain that. So if you're doing that around a full-time job, that's why we give you up to 5 years. So it is possible to complete in 2 years, but it's obviously not for everyone because of the amount of work that will be needed to do that. Hi, is an English language test required even if you have a master's degree from the UK? Once again, we look at this on a case-by-case basis. So Just having a master's degree from the UK doesn't necessarily mean that you do meet the requirements for the English language. That would depend on when that was studied. If it was from sort of 20 years ago and you've not been living in the UK, it may not meet the qualifications to waiver. But there again, if you completed that last year, it may. So once again, each student, we look at that on a case-by-case basis. What means academic direction provided by Royal Holloway? Am I a student at Royal Holloway under the University of London or directly at the University of London? So this course was built off of the back of a course called Information Security, which was done by Royal Holloway. So we have taken some of their curriculum and updated it and put it online as cybersecurity. So there is help with the curriculum from Royal Holloway, which is why it's under academic direction, but this degree is with the University of London. Royal Holloway will be mentioned on the certificate, but they're not the awarding body. The awarding body for this degree is the University of London, in the same sense as Coursera, we're the academic learning platform, but we aren't part of the education. So we're not mentioned on the certificate. The certificate is delivered by the University of London, not by Royal Holloway. So someone's asked, sorry, this is a specific question to a region, but I will answer anyway. You said you need a UK degree or equivalent, but if you're a high school graduate and in college right now, do you qualify? If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you are unlikely to qualify for this course. There is the performance-based route, but we would be looking at work experience, which is relevant for this. So just having sort of a high school diploma wouldn't meet the requirements for this. So we would be looking for more. So in most cases, to meet the requirements of this course, you would need a bachelor's degree. How can we set up an appointment with an enrollment counsellor? At the end of this webinar, there will be a QR code and a link which will be put into the chat box, which will take you through to the booking form for myself and Maria, so you can book in time with us. Are there placements or any relevance set up after this program? So for this program, we don't offer any placements. The course is 100% online, which means we have students from all over the world. That means that setting up placements or internships wouldn't be possible. Also, because this is sort of further education, a lot of our students will be within employment and they wouldn't want to be leaving their employment to go and do internships. So we don't offer any internships within this course, and it's not something that you would have to do. Can we take breaks during the study? Yes, you can. As I say, there are 10 taught modules and we run in 10-week cycles. So if you do want to take breaks within the course, they have to be within the sort of designated breaks. And if you do take time out, it would be that whole 10-week period. You can't sort of start a module later and sort of run it slowly. Each module sits in a 10-week sort of specific slot, but there is the option to take that study break out and then start 10 weeks later. What I'll do is we've still got questions coming in, so there's still quite a lot more to get through. So what I'll do is I'm going to continue with the webinar, and then hopefully we'll get back to some more of your questions at the end, but please do keep asking. So the application process. So if you haven't already started your application, I'm aware that quite a few people on this webinar have probably either applied, submitted, or even been given offers, and some of you might have even enrolled onto the course. But if you are yet to apply, then please click the link at the top of the page. Sorry, Maria will put the link into the chat box for the application. And halfway down the page, you'll see this apply now. Please select the MSc, and then there are two entry routes. They're either the performance-based or the direct entry route. Please choose whichever one you think is applicable to yourself. If you do select the wrong one, you don't have to reapply for a different option, just to let you know. If you apply for direct entry, but we deem you to be a performance-based entry, then they will move you across and vice versa. So there is no need to sort of apply for both or apply for sort of the one, if you're unsure, please do apply for whichever one you think best suits you, and we'll put you into whichever cohort best suits you. And for the application, there are certain areas that you'll need to fill out. There'll be study details, personal details. There's an equal opportunities form. We'll need information on your education, your employment, accreditation, access arrangements, and then the most important area is the documents. So for this course, we need copies of your transcripts and certificates from your bachelor's or any other further education you've got. If you've done any other education which will be relevant, if you're performance-based, please do make sure all of that's submitted as well. And then there's the option for a CV. We do also ask for your employment details, so the CV isn't a requirement, it's useful to have, but also you still need to fill out the employment section of the application. Just because you've given your CV doesn't mean that we don't need that information inputted as well. So the CVs are nice to have, but you do need to still give us your employment details. And then after that, there is also a personal statement, which is 250 words on why you think you'd be a great applicant for this course, and then the declaration. And once you've completed all of those areas, then please submit your application. Once again, we do need a scanned copy of your ID, supporting statements, scanned copy of your academic transcripts and your academic certificates, resume, professional certificates, and English language. And also it's free to apply. So there is no application fee for this course. So if you do want to apply, please do. There's nothing to lose. So this is what the admissions the application box looks like. You'll have to fill out all of these areas and all of the checklists to make it a submitted application. So how do you register? So first you have to submit. It will normally take about 10 working days, 2 weeks to get your offer back. And then once you've registered, you can log into the student portal. You can click register now button and you can register for your modules. And then after that, you can study up to 2 modules per session and you can register, and the registration deadline is September the 25th. And then once you've registered, you'll be sent the orientation materials. Please do give about 3 to 4 hours for this. There's also program policies to read through, and the first module will start on October the 9th. And then once you've graduated from the course, you'll have completed 180 credits. And as I say, just covered this previously, but the awarding body will be the University of London under academic direction, and you'll receive a physical copy of the course. Now, there are 2 ways to get your certificates. You can either come to the graduation ceremony. We hold that in the Barbican Centre in London, which is a big sort of music hall where you'll come down. There'll be the campus students as well, and you can get your certificate in person. Or if you're unable to come to the UK to graduate, then you can receive your physical copy by mail. So the key dates for this course. So the application's open. They're open now. They're open today. They've been open for a while. The application deadline is the 11th of September. So I think that's about a week and a half away. So please do make sure you get that in by the 11th of September. If you miss that deadline, there's no guarantee there'll be any extensions. So please do get that completed in time, especially as the nearer we get to deadline, the longer it takes for applications to get processed, as there's more coming through. So if you do want to miss out on disappointment, then please do apply as soon as possible. And then the registration deadline is the 25th of September. And then classes will start on the 9th of October. So now please do let me introduce you to our Programme Director for the University of London for the online masters, Dr Fauzia Idrees. Hi Fauzia, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi Matthew, thank you so much and welcome everyone.
So the first thing we're going to ask is, so what makes a great application for this course and what should be included in the personal statement?
First of all, I would say carefully follow all application guidelines and deadlines, and make sure you understand and fulfill the specific admission requirements. And if you have any relevant experience and like internships, work experience, or any research projects you have done, do mention them. And it's good to include a letter of recommendation from your teacher or employer. And the personal statement is a critical component of your application. and it should explain why you are passionate about this subject and how this course will contribute to your personal and professional growth. And do mention your experience and qualifications related to cybersecurity.
Brilliant. And a good point made there. So you do need to submit all the documents, and if any documents aren't submitted, then they will be requested by the university, which isn't the biggest problem in the world, apart from we're very near the deadline and any documents will be requested. So all that will do, it will slow down that offer going out. So when we say it's 10 working days to get an offer, that's 10 working days from when we receive all of the documents. So if you submit today and then it takes us 2 weeks to come back with a request for one of your transcripts, it's 10 working days from when we receive that transcript. So because we're low on time before the closing, please do make sure that you have everything submitted first time round. Okay, and what is the difference between standard and performance-based entry?
Matthew, I think you already covered this. I will just add to your points. If applicants do not meet the requirements for direct entry, they can apply for MSc via the PBA route, and applicants with an appropriate professional experience and professional qualifications. Professional qualifications means different certifications like CISSP, CH, any certification related to cybersecurity actually, and they are actually recognized from the well-known institutes. They will be considered for this PBA route, and the major difference is the students who actually come through direct entry, they can take the courses, the modules is we run, but the PBA students, they can take 2 modules. They have to successfully complete 2 modules before they can actually transfer to MSc Cybersecurity.
And what is your top tip for students wanting to advance their career in cybersecurity?
I would say, because cybersecurity is it's ever evolving and so dynamic field. So it's good to, they should focus on continuous learning and skill development. And because it's a dynamic field, it doesn't actually stop. There's no full stop to cybersecurity skills and knowledge, I would say. And with new threats and technologies emerging regularly, it's essential to stay up to date with the latest trends, threats, and technologies, and follow industry news, blogs, podcasts, and attend different conferences, webinars. And I would also say, gain practical experience by working on real world cybersecurity projects, and consider internship at different organizations, companies, or volunteering for cybersecurity related tasks in your current job, or at some non-profit organizations. And I would also recommend to create a home lab where you can experiment with different cybersecurity tools. And right now, actually, there are so many open tools available. You don't have to buy, actually. Most of these things are available online. And I would also recommend to build a strong professional network within the cybersecurity community, and attend different industry events like InfoSec Europe. There are many other, and join professional cybersecurity organizations. They all really help you to build a strong, actually, cybersecurity career.
Wonderful. Thank you. And this is a two-part question. How can students access academic support during studies? And can they connect with their professors if they have a question about the topics?
Yeah, of course. Each module provides you with access to the online forums and discussion forums, which allow students to communicate with each other as well as with the academic staff. And each module is actually being guided by a team of academic staff members of Royal Holloway. Um, uh, and the team consists of a module leader and 2 to 3 online tutors, depending on the number of students. So every like 50 students will have one tutor, a dedicated tutor for them. And luckily, most of our module leaders are the academic subject experts. Like they actually design and develop the module. They are the module authors. So yes, the students will get a chance to directly interact with the professors of Royal Holloway actually.
Wonderful. Next question. How is the course structured and how do students access online reading and video lectures?
The course structure was really very, I would say, pretty covered by your slides. I will just repeat a few important things. There are actually 4 teaching sessions every year, starting in October, January, April, and July. And each study session actually comprises of 12 weeks. 10 weeks are dedicated to teaching and learning, and 11th week is to prepare for your assessment, and in the 12th week you will sit your exam. And in each week there are a combination of lessons including videos, case studies, labs, recorded lectures, readings, practice, graded assignments, and all of the course resources can be accessed, including the videos, readings, lectures, everything on Coursera platform when you register for the program. So all the material will be available for free from Coursera and on UL actually library resources. And for MSc degree, you will have to successfully complete 10 modules and a research project.
How practical is this course and what are the key subjects covered? I think once again, I've covered the key subjects covered, but
Yeah.
how practical is the course?
The course is very much practical, I would say, because it has been developed with the help of industry professionals. Royal Holloway has very good linkage with different industries. They are working on like government and military and different cybersecurity companies. We have very close connection with them, and they actually audit our curriculum. They actually help us to develop the curriculum which fits the market requirements actually. So you will be studying, I will just repeat the same modules, 10 modules. You will be studying cybersecurity foundations, security management and governance, cybercrime, applied cryptography, network and infrastructure security, computer system security, software and application security, security behaviors, information privacy, and research methods for cybersecurity.
Thank you. And do you have any advice or tips for students when applying for the program?
Same, which I covered in my first question, like it's good to actually go through the program guidelines and deadlines and look for what the program requirements are, like what qualifications we are looking for our students, what experience do you have, and it's good to actually cover all those things, and you should have a good, strong, I would say, English proficiency as well.
And what's your favorite topic of this program and why?
Now it has become a difficult question. When in last year in October, it was the easiest question for me actually, because we had not released many modules, but now we have already released 6 modules, and it's difficult to select actually. All modules are really good, and they give us lot of practical actually experience, and they cover a lot of different skills and knowledge about cybersecurity. But I would say I like network security the most, and the module is full of hands-on practice on different networking tools. And we have actually introduced cyber range first time in any distance learning program, which enables students to simulate the real life cyber attacks, and they can learn how to respond in critical situations. But I also like cybercrime module. It gives a good knowledge about different cyber crimes, and it actually empowers students, I would say, to learn about different techniques to how to avoid those like ransomware and different cyber crimes.
That sounds very interesting. And I think this may be the last question, but what job roles will Masters in Cybersecurity graduates be qualified for applying for?
Well, cybersecurity is a growing field, and organizations across various industries are consistently actually seeking qualified professionals to protect their digital assets. The job roles available to MSc Cybersecurity graduates could be, there's a long list, I would say, but it could be like cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity consultants, information security officer or manager, CISOs, incident responders, penetration testers, ethical hackers, and security architect, security engineer, security auditor, compliance analyst, compliance manager, risk manager, cybersecurity researcher, cybersecurity sales or pre-sales engineer, cybersecurity trainers, educators, governance, risk and compliance GRC specialists, and cryptographers, cybersecurity policy analysts. There are so many actually.
So it sounds like there's quite a wide career variation for depending whichever subject, I guess, takes your interest most, and then you can build a career from there. Oh, sorry, there was another question. And what sectors can MSc Cybersecurity graduates work in?
MSc Cybersecurity graduates have a wide range of sectors available to work in. They can work in threat detection, penetration testing, or security software development industry, and they can work in financial sector like banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutes which are using digital platforms. And another important sector is of healthcare, because they handle vast amount of sensitive patient data, and making it a prime target for cyber attacks. And governments and national security, agencies, military, they all need cybersecurity experts to protect critical national infrastructure and classified information and national security interests. So cyber has become a fifth domain of warfare, and cybersecurity experts, I would say, are the frontline warriors to safeguard the critical national assets and even the national security of any nation state. And these are just a few examples. The list is bigger, consisting like energy sector, retail, e-commerce, telecommunications, manufacturing, industrial control systems, consulting, advisory services, academia, research, non-profit, and NGO sector, and a lot of other training institutes.
I guess there was that big hack with the NHS talking about healthcare a few years ago, and I guess that to a lot of people brought sort of the importance of cybersecurity to the sort of forefront of everyone's mind. So just does go to show how important that is in sort of a real world situation.
Yep, exactly.
So that's the final pre-written question that we had, submitted questions. So if you do have any specific questions that you would like to ask an enrollment counsellor, then please do click the QR code and scan the dinosaur, and that will book in some time with myself or Maria, and we'll be here to answer sort of any questions that are specific to yourself or sort of about finance or anything like that. And we have a few more questions in the chat box. So we have about 15 minutes left. So I'll ask some questions. And if you'd like to jump in on any of them, then please do. We'll see if we can get some of these answers. How are the modules graded? Is that one you'd like to take?
I'll take it. Yep. So we have 10 modules. And as I mentioned, for 10 weeks, you will actually learn different, the module. And 11th week, you will have, the live webinar with your module leader and online tutors, where they will give you tips how to prepare for your exams. And in 12th week's module, you will sit an online assessment, and the 100% marking is currently on the final assessment. So there are 3 questions. There will be a choice of 4 to 5 questions, and you will be required to answer 3 of them. And all those 3 questions, like they form 100% grading for the module.
Thank you. And this leads on to this. Is it possible to retake exams? So there are options to resit exams, but if you do resit an exam, there is a fee to resit the exams, and also they will be capped. So if you don't pass the module the first time, I think it's capped at 40%. So when you resit, even if you get 100% on that exam the second time round, you would still only be graded 40%. So it is important to do well on the first time round and hopefully avoid resits. Does this master cover the topic of wireless networks?
I'll take this question. Yeah, the network and infrastructure security. That module covers wireless as well as wireline networks, their vulnerabilities, challenges, and different, techniques how to defend them.
And then next question from Destiny is, apart from course fees, is there any other payments associated with this course? This course doesn't have any hidden costs, so the costs covered should cover everything. So the course cost that we've stated, there is a chance of an increase of up to 5% year on year with inflation. So the module cost may go up by a maximum of 5%. And then the only other cost which you could incur is if you do miss the, if you fail one of the exams, you do need to do a resit, then there is a payment to resit the exams. Apart from that, there's no sort of other costs within this course. And then, sorry, just skimming through the questions. How much programming is involved within this program?
I didn't get the question, sorry.
How much programming is involved within this master's?
Right. Well, there is no, I would say, there's no requirement of programming. Like, you don't need to come with programming skills, actually. We are now introducing Python, lessons in our very first module, that is Cybersecurity Foundations. So you don't have to worry about programming, I would say, because everything will be taught in that course, and you will be given enough resources to go through that Python. And why Python? Because there is you will need some scripts for malware detection. So it's good for you to learn a little bit of Python, but it's not like full-fledged language. So you will be learned like just to if you have to do some sort of malware detection and things like malware analysis, then the Python scripts will help you, and you will be actually taught all this during the module.
Wonderful. Are there any opportunities for scholarships for students? There are no scholarship opportunities within this MSc. It's a funded course via Coursera or via the University of London. We're not currently offering any scholarships. So there's a couple of different questions from people about scholarships, but as a general rule, if you want to look at there is a scholarship webpage on the University of London website, so you can double check if there's anything specific to yourself that you can meet. But as a general rule, there aren't any scholarships that are offered within this course. So. Is this certificate online differ from the campus course? I think you can sort of help with this one, but I don't believe there is a campus course for this master's. So that is the difference between campus and online, I believe. We're not currently offering a campus course for this, are we?
Royal Holloway actually is currently offering an MSc in Information Security, which is a campus-based program. And this one is MSc in Cybersecurity, which is a distance learning program. But obviously, the campus one is a bit expensive and to apply, and there are different requirements. So we are not offering in cybersecurity. That campus one is MSc in Information Security.
What is the time frame for exams? I think you've pretty much covered that. There's 10-week modules, week to prepare, and then the exam after that. So that will be sort of a 12-week cycle. So every sort of 12 weeks, starting from October the 9th, there would be exams. Can you admit onto this course as an undergraduate using the second pathway? No, this is a postgraduate degree. So if you are an undergraduate and you don't have a bachelor's degree, you wouldn't meet the requirements for this course unless you've done additional education that would meet you to the requirement of the performance-based entry. But as a general rule, if you are sort of out of school and you're wanting to go from school as an undergraduate, then this wouldn't be the right course for yourself.
Matthew, I would like to add a bit here. Like if they don't have undergrad degree, but they have like security certifications like CISSP, like from very well recognized institutes, and they have significant experience on cybersecurity, like 10+ years, then we can actually consider them for PBA route. Again, they will have to successfully complete 2 modules, only then they will be transferred to MSc.
Is Coursera or online studies mentioned on the degree certificate? No, it's not. So the University of London and Royal Holloway and the qualification, which is a master's in cybersecurity, will all be mentioned on the certificate. The course, although online is the study or mode of study, it's not sort of viewed as an online degree. It's a full master's qualification from the University of London. So that's what's mentioned on the transcripts and the certificates. Coursera aren't mentioned. Online studies not mentioned. It's just University of London's mentioned and Royal Holloway, but under academic direction. But the awarding body is the University of London. Sorry, there's a lot of sort of very specific questions that I'm sort of trying to pick through and avoid because we've got about 5 minutes left. So just trying to answer things that will be of interest to everyone in the group, not sort of very specific questions. After this qualification, could you do a PhD after doing the master's?
I will take this question, Matthew. Because this is a MSc degree and you are eligible for doing a doctorate actually after MSc. So yes, and it depends on different universities. You'll have to check, but yes, of course, you can actually start your PhD after completing your MSc.
Okay. Do we get job referrals after the whole course? Depends what you mean by job referrals. So as I said, there's no internships within this course. There's no sort of guarantee of employment after. But what the University of London do have is a career centre who are there to sort of help you. And they can help you with CV writing. And there's webinars whilst you go through the course, which will help you with different sort of career aspects. So there's a lot that the university do to help with job hunting, but there's no sort of guaranteed link with business where if you take this course, you'll be put into a specific job. I believe that to be true. What basic knowledge relevant to this field am I supposed to know as a prerequisite for the course?
I'll take this question, Matthew. I would say because really we are trying to, it's not just the degree, I would say Royal Holloway, because Royal Holloway is the first university in the UK which is started actually this MSc in information security. So we really want to spread cybersecurity education and awareness all around the world. And we welcome people from different backgrounds. Like you don't need to be a computer expert or have some coding knowledge or anything. The point is everything will be actually provided by Royal Holloway and UL and Coursera on Coursera platform. And all those things like core modules, if you really spend 12 to 15 hours per week per module, you don't need any prior background knowledge of computers or coding. The point is you will have to give time actually once you start this program.
CISSP holders, can they get course waivers? So there is a chance for recognition for prior learning for this course. That's once again looked at on a case-by-case basis. So if you are looking to get a course waiver within this course, you would first of all have to apply for recognition of prior learning. You'd have to submit documentation, and there is also a fee per module. So you have to pay for every module you're looking to waiver, and there's no guarantee you're going to get a waiver. The one thing you should look at before you apply for any recognition of prior learning is that this is a level 7 qualification. So you would need to be able to prove that the qualification you have previously done meets both the requirements and the same level as what you've previously studied, and that you would meet the same topics as well. So there is an opportunity to apply for recognition of prior learning, but it is a waiver of proving that you are able to know and understand everything that's been sat within that module. So a good example is if you've done a bachelor's in cybersecurity, which is a level 5 qualification, it's probably not likely to meet this because this is a level 7. It's one stage up. But there is the option to apply for that, but there are quite stringent rules. Would you like to add anything further to that?
Yes, Matthew, because there is a cost. So there's a cost to apply for, the prior recognition of learning. So I would really say if you have CISSP or any certifications right now, we are not accepting any certifications as an equivalent of any of our modules, because all our modules are connected, I would say, and they follow a cyborg. Cyborg is a cybersecurity book of knowledge, which has been introduced by NCAC. And because we are aiming to apply for NCAC certification, and if we accept those CISSP and other certifications, then our degree might not get that certification and accreditation. So I would really say we are only considering those prior learnings, like if you have done a similar sort of level 7 course or module from other program. For example, we are already running MSc in information security uh, on UL, which has been now replaced by this program. So if you have done a few courses on the old MSc in information security, then you can apply for those modules to be actually considered for this RPL, I would say. Or maybe you have done similar modules from, but the level 7 modules from Oxford or similar, like any institute of or equal, level, only then we can accept that.
Thank you. And I think that's now time. So we've reached our hour. So I would want to say thank you everyone for attending, and thank you very much for answering all of our questions today. Anything that hasn't been answered, once again, please click the QR code and book in some time, and we can answer anything that we still have some questions outstanding, but we've not got time for them. But anything you'd like to say before we go?
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. And I really encourage you to register for this program, because this program is a different from other distance learning programs. First of all, because of cyber range, and there are so many other tools which we have really procured just for this program. And although the cost went up, but we just wanted to give as much to our students as possible, actually. Thank you for attending the webinar.